Good evening, everybody. So thank you so much for joining this presentation by City University of Hong Kong. So as Mr. Shanat has introduced, my name is Heather. I work for the Global Engagement Office at City University of Hong Kong. And today I would like to present to you about City University of Hong Kong. And if you're interested, how you can apply to our university. You will learn about the university itself, the different majors you can choose, the scholarships and grants that we offer, and finally, the application procedures. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in English, or if you prefer to use Russian or Kazakh, you can let Mr. Shanat know. So I would like to share my PowerPoint slides with you. So these are just some QR codes for you to check. So for example, if you want to see our IG account to see what our international students actually what their lives in Hong Kong are like, what kind of student activities they can engage in, you can follow us on IG or Facebook. You can also leave your contact details to stay in touch with us. So if you give us your email address and contact details, we will send you some newsletters later on. So let's get started.
Здесь находятся QR-коды. Если вы хотите узнать о жизни, об учебе, вообще о университете, то вы можете сканировать первый QR-код, на втором QR-коде вы можете оставить свои контакты для дальнейшей связи.
Okay, so you can see some photos of CityU's campus here. So on the left-hand side, you can see some academic buildings. And on the top right-hand corner, you can see a very stylish creative media center for our creative media students. And on the top bottom right corner, you can see some buildings on the hill. So these are actually our student residents. So we have 13 buildings of them, hosting about 3,600 students on the campus. So why Hong Kong? Well, of course, Hong Kong is a very vibrant city. It is also an international financial center located in Southeast Asia. So if you're looking for a lot of different kinds of opportunities, especially in business and technology, then I think Hong Kong has a lot of opportunities to offer. So whether you want to do, whether you want to get a good graduate job or you want to start up your own company, I think Hong Kong offers a lot of different opportunities. And secondly, Hong Kong is also a metropolis surrounded by nature. So of course, if you Google search online about Hong Kong, you will see lots of photos with skyscrapers in Hong Kong. We have a lot of cars, people, restaurants, shops. Yeah, so it's a very big city here with almost 8 million people in one city. But we are also very green because over 60% of Hong Kong's land is actually covered by nature. You can see a lot of hills, like islands, sand beaches, and compared to Kazakhstan, Hong Kong is very warm, so there's a lot of things for you to do outdoor throughout the whole year. So the photo in the middle actually shows some parts of Hong Kong. It's actually Hong Kong, yeah. And on the right-hand side, you can also see the buildings again of our student residents. So we have a very safe living environment for our students. Our crime rates are basically one of the lowest in the world. And on the campus, we also have security all the time, 24-hour security. So our students are protected from any kind of dangers or strangers.
Почему Гонконг? Потому что Гонконг, он находится в удобном экономическом положении. Если даже вы хотите устроиться на работу в будущем, открыть там какую-то компанию, Гонконг – это идеальный вариант. Также город окружен природой. У нас 60% самого города состоит из природы, можно сказать. Там есть пляжи, там есть острова и очень много возможностей для отдыха, для активного отдыха и проживания. Также кампус сам университета, он очень безопасный, 24 часа там находится охрана, все чисто, все убрано и комфортно для проживания.
Okay, so why CityU? So let me tell you a little bit about CityU. CityU is actually a public university in Hong Kong, and we're actually a very outstanding university. So in terms of ranking, we are within the 100 in the world. So if you're looking for a highly ranked university, you don't necessarily have to look at the UK or the US. Actually, in Hong Kong, you have some choices, including CityU. So I think if you're a good student and you're looking for a top university, CityU would be one of your choices. And at CityU, we also teach in English completely. So as you know, Hong Kong was actually a former British colony. So we have two official languages here in the city, one being English, the other one being Chinese. And in the world of universities, actually English is the language that we use most of the time. And all your course materials and the teaching and learning will be carried out in English completely. So that means you don't actually have to learn any Chinese before you can come to Hong Kong to study. And of course, as a public university, we receive a lot of funding from the government every year. And the government in Hong Kong is very supportive. So it provides a lot of different resources to our university. We can, with the funding, hire top professors from all over the world. We also can offer a lot of student opportunities to our students. So if you want to do, let's say, a student exchange, join some summer programs, like some learning services. Actually, all these activities are subsidized by the university. So you only have to pay a very tiny amount in order to join this kind of programs. And finally, in Hong Kong, we enjoy a very high academic freedom. So we can actually develop any kind of curriculum and also carry out any kind of research in different disciplines.
Почему университет CityU? Потому что он находится в списке топ-100 университетов мира. И если вы хотите учиться в топовом университете, то не обязательно смотреть на университеты Англии или США. Также в Гонконге есть два официальных языка, так как это была бывшая колония Английской империи, то там два официальных языка – это английский и китайский. И поэтому вам не придется учиться китайскому дополнительно. И также университет поддерживается государством, там очень хорошее финансирование, и на самом деле вы оплачиваете только малую часть обучения, остальное все оплачивается государством. И то, что вы хотите, если вы хотите сделать исследования и другие какие-то активити, то как бы государство, оно финансирует очень хорошо. И также здесь приветствуется академическая свобода. Вы можете учиться двойным программам, вы можете поехать на стажировки или обмены с обменами в другие университеты по миру.
Okay, so if you know, some students actually come to Hong Kong because they want to get a job, especially in finance or in commerce. So Hong Kong would be the perfect place for them because we have almost 9,000 multinational companies in Hong Kong. So you probably are quite familiar with big brand names like Google, Amazon, KPMG, Bank of America, and so on. So they are top technology companies or banks. So you will definitely find an office of such companies in Hong Kong, and some of our international graduates actually have found jobs in these companies. So because you know they receive a good quality education, they also speak multiple languages, and it's totally possible for them to find jobs in top employers. And in Hong Kong, we also have a very low unemployment rate. So that means as long as you look actively for a job, it is very likely for you to find jobs. Many of our international graduates actually manage to find jobs even before they graduate. So I would say Hong Kong is a land of opportunity. And we also enjoy a very strategic location. That means Hong Kong has a lot of business and also economic collaborations with the other markets in the region. It's also very easy for us to, do business with other markets, especially not during the COVID times. So, for example, if we want to fly to other key markets like Singapore, Malaysia, Japan, or let's say mainland China, it takes us only about 3-4 hours to fly to the other location. And even between Hong Kong and Kazakhstan, there's a direct flight. It takes only 6 hours for us to fly from Hong Kong to Almaty. So we enjoy a very strategic location right in the center of Asia. And lastly, I think it's also very worthwhile to mention that the Hong Kong government has a very favorable visa arrangement for graduates. So after your graduation, when you have completed a 4 years bachelor's degree, you can still stay in Hong Kong for 1 additional year. So your student visa is actually automatically valid for 5 years. And that means no matter you have a job or not, you can stay in Hong Kong to take your time to find a job if you haven't found one. But if you already have a job, then you can very simply apply for a work visa. So compared to other locations like UK or US, the visa arrangement is really easy, and it allows you to stay in Hong Kong automatically to get a job. So after having lived in Hong Kong for 7 years in total, all the international students will be able to get a permanent ID, so they will become a permanent resident.
Гонконг выбирает больше 9000 международных компаний. Там всегда очень низкий уровень безработицы, так как там работают очень многие компании, такие как Google. Выпускники университета находят очень легко работу, так как они знают несколько языков. И стратегическое местоположение Гонконга, оно позволяет студентам очень легко поехать в такие другие места, как Сингапур. И есть даже прямой рейс с Алматы в Гонконг. Он длится всего лишь 6 часов. Потом есть очень удобные визовые условия. После того, как вы закончите бакалавриат, вам предоставляется еще 12 месяцев продления. Вы можете оставаться в Гонконге на 12 месяцев еще больше. Если вы находите работу, например, в Гонконге, то вам продлевают визу еще больше. И после того, как вы проживете, например, в Гонконге 7 лет, вам предоставляется удостоверение постоянного жителя. Вы можете стать постоянным жителем в Гонконге.
So a little bit about CityU's rankings. I mentioned that CityU is actually one of the top 100 universities in the world. As you can see this year, we are at the 53rd in the world. And for a young university with a history of about 20-something years, we are doing very well.
Гонконгский университет находится среди топовых университетов во всем мире. Он на 18 месте по университетам в Азии.
And then for undergraduate students, we actually offer programs in 9 colleges and schools. So most of the Kazakh students are interested in programs in the College of Business. We have a lot of different programs like marketing management, finance, and so on. And because Hong Kong is a financial center, business programs are very popular. A lot of students from Kazakhstan are also interested in engineering. So we have different disciplines of engineering, and we also have a very reputable program called computer science. We have some other unique programs as well, like veterinary medicine program and a creative media, and also finally a very very unique school called the School of Data Science.
В университете есть очень много факультетов, они называют их колледжами. В основном студенты из Казахстана выбирают колледжи бизнес и инженерии. Также у них есть уникальные такие факультеты, как искусство и социальные науки, также ветеринария.
Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight that a lot of our faculty members are very international. So about 70% of them are actually non-Hong Kong residents. So your professors are going to be coming from all over the world. And also in the classroom, you will have very international classmates as well, because this year we have about students from about 80 countries from all over the world. So you will meet people from, for example, the US, Germany, France, UK, other Central Asian countries, a lot of students from Southeast Asia as well. So it's a very international environment on the campus.
Атмосфера в кампусе, она очень интернациональна. Есть много профессоров и учителей из разных других стран. Даже 70% учителей и профессоров, они состоят из разных состава учителей состоит из профессоров из разных из разных стран, из больше 30 стран. Также они приглашают разных профессоров знаменитых из всего мира и лауреатов Нобелевской премии.
So students will have a lot of opportunities to study abroad when they are here in Hong Kong at CityU. So we have more than 400 student exchange programs. That means students can actually go to another university outside of CityU to study for one semester. So it's not a holiday. Actually, students will be taking credits and they can transfer the credits back to CityU. So this is actually part of their 4-year curriculum, and they can choose wherever they want to go because we have so many partners in the world. They can go to any country like the US, Canada, Australia, a lot of different European countries, Korea, and so on. And we will actually pay the students to go outside. So we offer some financial assistance and also some exchange scholarships.
Университет дает возможность обучаться обменом с других университетов мира, в таких странах, как Англия, Америка, Франция, Италия, Германия и другие. Также университет оплачивает сам вашу эту учебу по обмену в других университетах мира.
And we also have some double degrees. It means that students will actually study at 2 different universities. One, of course, is CityU. The other one is one of our partners. So we have several very prestigious partners, and one of them is Columbia University in New York City. So it's an Ivy League university, and you can actually go to Columbia University through CityU. You will receive 2 degree programs, 2 degree diplomas if you join one of our joint bachelor's degree program. So this is one of them with Columbia University.
Также у вас будет возможность получить смешанное обучение в 2 университетах и получить 2 диплома от 2 разных университетов, как, например, диплом университета CityU и Колумбийского университета в Нью-Йорке.
We have some other joint programs with Leuphana University of Lüneburg in Germany, and another one with National Taiwan University in Taiwan. So this is actually another top Asian university.
Также есть смешанные программы с Германским университетом Лeuphana и Национальным тайваньским университетом. Тайваньский университет является одним из топовых в Азии.
And we also have 2 other joint degree programs with the University of Edinburgh in Scotland and with the University of Manchester in England.
Также есть смешанные программы с университетом Эдинбурга в Англии, Эдинбургским университетом в Англии и Манчестерским университетом.
And at CityU, we also offer students a lot of internship opportunities. That means they can get some real-life work experience before they graduate. So we match students with companies, and on average, each one of the students can at least complete 1 internship before they graduate. So for example, for some majors, we actually help the students to find the internships. So for example, for the computer science major, all the computer science students will be able to work for a certain company like Google, Microsoft, for the whole year in their 3rd year, and they will get paid as well. So this will be a very nice experience on their resume. And when employers see this kind of experience on their CV, it will make our students more competitive, and they will be able to find good graduate jobs.
Также университет предлагает стажировки или практику во многих известных компаниях мира. Особенно, например, если вы учитесь программированию, то у вас будет возможность получить стажировку в таких компаниях, как Google. На 3-м курсе в течение года проводится стажировка, и университет сам их оплачивает. И в дальнейшем в вашем резюме будет значиться то, что вы прошли стажировку в Гугле, и это вам поможет найти работу быстрее. И престижную работу.
Yeah, so this is just some statistics about how graduates do after graduation. So as you can see on the right-hand side, the majority of them choose to take up employment after graduation. So they work for some companies that are very well known, like Morgan Stanley, PwC, EY, Citibank, Amazon, and so on. And some of them decide to pursue further studies in world-class institutions. So some of the examples would be Oxford in the UK and Harvard in the US.
Больше 17% выпускников, они продолжили свою учебу в таких известных университетах мира, как Гарвард, Кембридж, Оксфорд, а также больше 70% выпускников, они трудоустроены, и очень многие из них работают в таких известных компаниях, как Apple, Amazon, Samsung, PwC и так далее.
Okay, and just to share a little bit about campus life with you. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of international students, and our university actually has a lot of different student societies and clubs as well. So you are not just coming to CityU to study, but you are also going to meet a lot of friends from all over the world, and you will also have whole person development as well. So for example, if you live on the student residence, you will be able to meet friends from all over the world. You can cook together, you can, live with people from different countries. So usually for a student residence, if you're an undergraduate student, you will live in a double bedroom. So on the top right-hand side corner, you can see what the double room looks like. So basically you will share the bedroom with another student, and there will be two beds inside the room.
Также у вас будет возможность не просто учиться. В университете очень много разных клубов, проводится очень много разных мероприятий, и у вас будет возможность жить и обучаться вместе с людьми из разных стран. Вы будете жить в комнате два человека в одной комнате, и будет возможность общаться с людьми с разных стран.
Mm-hmm. So I think I will go to the application part, because I can see a lot of questions about applications, scholarships, and fees. So as you can see, we accept Kazakhstan UNT and also NIS if you're going to like NIS schools or local schools. So basically for UNT, as long as you complete your attestat, you have the UNT result, we can consider that. And similarly for NIS, we also accept your NIS certificates. And for Kazakh students, I understand that a lot of you may be preparing for SAT as well, because you want to study abroad, and having an SAT will help you with your applications. So this is actually true for CityU applications as well. So while you are going to an NIS school or a local school following the UNT curriculum, we will require you to submit your UNT or NIS score, because this is actually your school curriculum. But if you also have SAT, you can also submit it to supplement your application. So in terms of your, the different qualifications, so SAT plus UNT, we will, our admissions office can actually look at the better qualification and decide whether you are accepted or not, and also whether you get a scholarship or not. Okay, and so Mr. Shamat, please translate this part.
Требования для поступления нужно будет сдать аттестат о среднем образовании и сертификат ЕНТ. Если вы учитесь в Назарбаевской школе, то ваш сертификат о среднем образовании. Также будет, также если вы сдаете экзамен САТ, то он тоже приветствуется, и он дает больше возможностей для поступления, и он тоже рассматривается как документ при поступлении.
So I also want to mention that for students who are taking SAT and also NIS, you will you can also apply for converted UNT score from the Ministry of Education. Unfortunately, I want you to bear in mind that CityU does not accept such converted scores. So let's say if you are a student going to a school with the UNT curriculum, we need to see your actual UNT score. We will not accept your converted score from an SAT score. If you have an SAT score, we will look at the SAT score, not the converted UNT score. Okay.
Can you repeat?
Yeah. So because for some students, if they take SAT, they can convert the SAT score to UNT. But for a university, we do not accept the converted UNT score. So we will only look at the actual SAT score or the actual UNT score. We don't accept conversion.
У нас есть такое, как SAT score, если вы переведете SAT, результаты экзамена SAT на наш на наш сертификат ENT, то он как бы не принимается, будет учитываться набранный вами балл на SAT.
So in terms of English requirements, of course, if you study GCE A-level, then no problem. Yeah, you don't have to take IELTS or TOEFL. But let's say if you have the NIS or UNT qualifications, then we will require you to take IELTS or TOEFL. So for IELTS, the requirement is 6.5 overall. So we only look at the overall score. We don't look at the individual band. Let's say if you have only 6.0 for one of the papers, it's fine because we only look at the overall score. And for TOEFL, the minimum requirement is 79. So if you, let's say, if you only get a score of 78, then unfortunately you will have to retake it because the minimum requirement is 79.
Минимальные языковые требования это IELTS 6.5. Они не смотрят на отдельные баллы по отдельным секциям. Например, если вы получили 6 по listening, то он не считает общий балл. И также это относится к TOEFL. И даже если вы получили 78, то он не будет учитываться, вам нужно набрать именно 79 и больше.
So you can see the table of cost of study here. So the tuition fee is about $18,000 for 1 year. And in terms of the cost of living, it's about $4,000-5,000 per year. That includes your books, transport, entertainment, medical expenses, and so on. So that includes everything. And also food. So I just wanted to mention that on our campus, actually we have about 10 canteens or so. We offer a lot of different food choices like Western food, Asian food, even halal food. If you eat on the campus, it's actually much cheaper. So living in Hong Kong as a student actually is not as expensive as many people imagine. So it's around $4,000-5,000 per year. And for accommodation, you can see there are 2 different prices. That's because for the first 2 years, we guarantee students that if they're international students, they can live on the campus. So they can live in one of our dormitories. But for the last 2 years, we don't guarantee. So we want parents and also students to be prepared for spending a little bit more on accommodation for the last 2 years.
Общая плата за обучение стоит $18 000. Также проживание в кампусе. Они гарантируют проживание в кампусе первые 2 года. Последующие 3-4 годы они не дают гарантии, что разрешат вам жить в кампусе, поэтому проживание вне кампуса может стоить чуть больше, чем проживание в кампусе. Также в самом кампусе есть 10 кантинов, которые предлагают питание по разным кухням, европейской, есть даже халяльная кухня, и проживать в кампусе это не так уж и дорого, как многие думают.
So I think a lot of students want to know about scholarships. And this is the list of scholarships that we offer to students coming from Kazakhstan. You can see we offer 3 different categories of scholarships. So including half tuition scholarship, that covers 50% of your tuition fee. And then we also have a full tuition scholarship covering 100% of the tuition fee. And finally, we have the top scholarship, that is actually up to $23,000 per year. It includes not just your tuition fee, but also part of your daily expenses and your on-campus accommodation.
Есть три вида грантов. Первый – это 50% грант, второй – это полная оплата только обучения, и топовый грант, он оплачивает ваше обучение, ваше проживание и повседневные расходы. Это $23 тысячи.
So these are called entrance scholarships. That means you will get these scholarships when you enter the university, and you can actually renew them as long as you maintain a CGPA of 3.4 out of 4.3. So the full scale is 4.3 because we have the A+ grade. So if you can maintain the CGPA requirement of 3.4, you can actually renew the scholarship every year and get the scholarship for 4 years.
Все гранты выдаются после поступления, и вы должны поддерживать уровень оценок на 3.4 по системе CGPA.
And to be eligible to these scholarships, actually you do not have to apply separately. Once you complete an online application in our system, our admissions office will actually automatically consider your application and see if you meet our scholarship criteria or not. So if you meet our criteria, then you will receive the scholarship automatically. There's no need for separate application for scholarships.
Для подачи документов на гранты не нужно отдельно собирать еще какие-то документы. Подавая документы в сам университет, вы автоматически попадаете в список претендентов на грант. Отдельных документов не требуется.
And also, as you can see, we also have some sports scholarships on the right-hand side. So if you are good in one of these 18 sports teams, sports, then you can actually apply to this sports scholarship. The amount is up to $20,500 per year, so it covers your tuition fee.
Есть еще спортивные гранты. Если вы хороши в одном из этих видов спорта, то вы можете подать на спортивный грант, который стоит $20 500 в год. Покрывает всю учебу и ваше проживание и расходы на проживание.
So this is the application timeline. If you're graduating this year, like in the next summer, then you can already apply because application actually started on the 23rd of September. And then in the next few months, we are going to have two deadlines. The first deadline is the early deadline on the 15th of November next month. And we also have the regular deadline on the 13th of January next year. So there's actually no difference in terms of the chance of getting accepted or getting a scholarship. But usually if you apply early, you will get a decision earlier. And so if you apply in November, you will likely receive your decision maybe a little bit after Christmas. And let's say if you apply only in January, then you will likely receive your decision in around March, April next year. Usually your offer, if you get accepted to CityU, your offer will be conditional because we will admissions will process your application based on the documents that you submit, including your predicted results. Predicted results for maybe your NIS certificate, for your UNT, or for let's say if you go to an international school for your A-level or IB scores. But if you have SAT already, then your offer might be confirmed, maybe a firm offer. But usually if you don't have SAT, it will be a conditional offer. So after receiving your offer, you will be given about 3 weeks to consider your whether you want to accept the offer or not. And if you do decide to confirm your place at CityU, then we will require you to pay a confirmation deposit of about $1,200. And also, after you have confirmed your place, we will help you with applying for your student visa in around May next year. So you don't have to go to the Chinese embassy in Kazakhstan to do that, because the visa for Hong Kong is different, and we will actually help you to apply for it and send the visa, approved visa to you. And in August, we also have orientation programs for our new students. Okay.
Прием документов, он начался уже 23 сентября, и есть два дедлайна. Это 15 ноября, есть ноября первый. Если вы сдадите документы до 15 ноября, то у вас будет шанс получить результаты того, приняты вы или не приняты, чуть раньше всех. Но второй дедлайн есть, он до 13 января. После подачи документов к вам через некоторое время приходит письмо о подтверждении поступления или об отказе от поступления. И если вам приходит подтверждающий документ, то у вас будет 3 недели, чтобы подумать, будете вы продолжать учебу или не будете там. Также оформление визы, вам не надо будет ехать в посольство Китая в Алмате или куда-то еще. Университет сам поможет вам с оформлением визы. И в конце, если вы подтверждаете поступление, подтверждаете то, что вы будете там учиться, то в конце августа у вас будут вступительные курсы, подготовительные курсы.
Okay, so some key points for you to bear in mind if you are keen on submitting an application. So first of all, each applicant is allowed to choose up to 3 different programs. That means you can have 3 different choices, and they can actually come from different areas. Okay, Mr. Shalat?
Вы можете выбрать, при поступлении вы можете выбрать 3 разные программы, и не обязательно, чтобы они были в одной сфере. Вы можете выбрать разные сферы.
And for the second point, we don't require students to prioritize their choices. So they don't actually have to put like a first choice, second choice, or third choice. We will consider their 3 different program choices separately. So we will give them parallel consideration. And when students receive their offers, it is possible for them to get accepted to 3 different departments. So they can choose which one they want to enroll based on maybe their interests and also the different scholarships that they receive.
Okay. Заявки принимаются, каждая учитывается отдельно. Вы, например, сдаете по 3 специальностям, и они все 3 специальности, они учитываются отдельно. Не надо их ставить первое, второе, третье там. И вы можете получить грант на все 3 специальности, а потом выбрать из них самую лучшую и подходящую по количеству денег или гранта.
And for the third point, all applications will be considered for scholarships. So this is just to repeat that you don't need to apply separately for scholarships. We will automatically consider everyone for scholarships. And if you meet our criteria, we will offer the scholarships to you. And you will receive the information when you receive the offer. And lastly, remember to apply on time. So our application deadline for the 2022 intake is the 13th of January. If you apply on time, we will make sure that if you're eligible, you will receive a scholarship. But if your application is late, then maybe we cannot guarantee that you will receive a scholarship because our scholarship budget every year is limited. So if you apply later, maybe we will actually finish giving out all the scholarships. So please try to be on time and just finish the online application by the 13th of January. Okay?
Все заявки, они автоматически рассчитываются на грант. Все они учитываются и рассматриваются на грант. И хотим вам напомнить, что чтобы вы подали документы вовремя. Дедлайн 13 января. Если вы подадите документы после 13 января, то гарантии, что вы получите стипендию, уже может и не быть.
And lastly, on the right-hand side, you can see the list of documents required. for all the students who are in the final year, they need to submit their official transcripts, so the school reports of last 2 years. So that would be last year and also this year's school reports. And if you have any predicted grades for your NIS or UNT, you should provide your predicted grades, and they should be certified by your school or principal. So they will be official from the school. And we also require a personal statement. So it's a personal essay to explain why you're applying to CityU, how you think you can fit into our university. It's completely in English with about 400 to 500 words. Okay.
Требования по документам, сначала вам нужно будет сдать ваши табеля за последние 2 года. Потом предположительные оценки, так как ОБТ сдается летом, а документы надо сдать, например, до 13 января, то ваши табеля с предположительными оценками будут нужны. И потом мотивационное письмо более чем не менее 400 слов. Вы должны там написать, почему вы выбрали вот этот университет, почему они должны выбрать вас и так далее. И также подтверждение знания английского языка, тесты как IELTS или TOEFL.
And for English, as I mentioned, you will need to submit your IELTS or TOEFL. But if by the time of application in January, you don't have it, it's fine, because you will receive our conditional offer. And the offer letter will mention that you still need to provide your English proficiency proof by a certain date. So that's your English proficiency.
Вы можете сдать документы до 13 января, даже если у вас нет сертификата IELTS. И если вам придет письмо, подтверждающее, что вы поступили, то там будет указана дата, до которой вы должны будете сдать сертификаты языковые.
So lastly, I also would like to mention that for application, every applicant will be charged an application fee of about $58 US, no matter you choose only 1 program or 3 programs. So I think it would be better for you to choose 3 programs because you can maximize the chance of getting accepted. The fee is the same, yeah?
Надо будет заплатить $58 за подачу документов, и неважно, сколько вы предметов выбираете, 1 или 3, цена такая же, поэтому лучше сдать на 3 разных специальности.
And if you're applying for the School of Creative Media, so you know there's arts elements in this school, you will have to submit a portfolio. So the professors need to see your student work.
Если вы подаете документы на творческое медиа, то надо будет сдать отдельное портфолио с вашими работами.
And so I will just take the last question as well on the chat. So are students allowed to have a part-time job? Actually, if you are a full-time student, you're allowed to work on the campus for 17 hours per week. And during the summer holiday, you can actually take an internship outside of the campus. So you can actually work as long as you follow the immigration guidelines by our government. Okay. And for Duolingo test, please, Mr. Shanat.
Вы можете также работать во время учебы. Вам разрешается работать 17 часов во время учебы и стажироваться в летнее время, при условии, что вы не нарушаете миграционную политику государства.
Yes, just to give you some information, if you work on the campus, the wage is actually $6.50 US per hour.
Если вы будете работать в кампусе, то будет зарплата в $6.05 за час.
And lastly, I just wanted to tell you that we are going to have some online events in this month. So we will have an information session by Columbia University to talk about the joint double degree. And we will also have a virtual open day on the 30th of October. So you can register, and we will have some Central Asian students representing the university. So you can talk to them and ask them some questions firsthand.
16 октября пройдет онлайн-сессия о смешанных программах, и там будут многие представители, также из Центральной Азии, у которых вы сможете вопросы дополнительно еще спросить.
And so this is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to send us emails and feel free to follow us on IG and Facebook. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Это конец нашей презентации. Вы видите здесь контактные данные. Не бойтесь спрашивать вопросы, можете напрямую связываться с представителями университета.
Thank you so much for your time, and feel free to contact our university if you have any questions about applications. Bye-bye.